hot take.
Welcome to the Sportscasting Couch. I'm Josh, and joined again with me is Ryan and Paul.
You
can reach us by emailing us at sportscastingcouch@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at @SC_couch or at facebook.com/sportscastingcouch. Now, Paul, first week picks through the books. What do we got?
Week 2 picks.
Well, week 2, our first week.
Yeah, I know. I was actually thinking about that. I had a feeling you were going to mess that up because in my head I was like, he's going to say week 1. It wasn't week 1. But
so there should be an asterisk on the whole total.
There's definitely going to be a plus minus 16. So
no, this isn't hockey. This is football, so you can't put plus minuses.
No, week 2 it went pretty well for us as far as the picks went. It looks like Ryan's leading the way. However, 12 out of 16 picks, and then Josh and myself are tied at 11.
What can I say? I'm a genius.
Yeah. We all missed our upset picks, so.
That's why they're upsets.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I need to defend myself on mine. Okay. Sam Bradford didn't play. If he would have played, I'm pretty sure they would have won.
I agree.
But again,
you can't really say that.
Last Wednesday, did he even know he was hurt? I didn't even know he was hurt last Wednesday.
No, I knew that there was like talks of his knee being hurt. And
you did.
He's made of glass.
When I was listening back to the podcast, I did hear you say check Sam Bradford. Now, I didn't know if you said like check down. I thought you meant like maybe he checks down a lot.
He does.
Blah,
He's
blah.
checked down Sam Bradford.
Right when you said check down, I thought, I don't know if he meant like an injury or something. But anyway,
I had no idea. Wednesdays, it's early to tell with the injuries, right? Like today, I got a notification that Von Miller's like questionable play. Like Von Miller's gonna play on Sunday, right? So it's you never know, but I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, we all got the Bengals wrong on the Thursday. We've got to give it up to Ryan because he called the low-scoring snooze fest.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
Terrible.
And we will definitely get into that because I got a few points about it in a upcoming segment.
And for our listeners, too, I think NFL.com listens to us because Ryan said 17-14, and then, what was it, 2 days later, NFL.com said 17-14. Oh.
They follow us and
hashtag Ryan Stradamus.
Yeah, they like all my memes. So.
Something like that. Anyway, let's get into the news. Anyways, so looking into the news, we're going to start off with the Patriots here, going into New Orleans, and Patriots are now 43-6 after a loss since 2004.
The Brady effect, Brady and Belichick.
Brady and Belichick.
I think it's more the Belichick effect than anything.
That's true.
Like he loses, especially if his defense like shits the bed. Like
he schemes.
They show up the next week every single time. And
that's exactly why when we said the Patriots game last week, I'm like, well, he's not going to lose back-to-back weeks.
You don't see that happen. It just doesn't happen. It hasn't happened since recent memory.
Look good. High scoring game too, just as Ryan said.
That's what you're gonna get. That's what you're gonna get when you get New England and New Orleans, with Drew Brees and Tom Brady.
Yep.
You're gonna have, especially off a loss, you're gonna have Tom Brady just being efficient and the defense being better than what they did last week. And again, New Orleans with Drew Brees, who's going to score points, but that New Orleans defense still struggles.
Yeah,
so.
It really hurts them every week. That it's almost like Brees has to score 28 points minimum every single week, or they don't have a chance to win.
And he does it with, look at their wide receivers. I mean, Rob Gronkowski, obviously, he's going to be his number one target.
And he killed it.
6 receptions, 116 yards.
Brady, you're talking about, yeah.
Oh, what did I say?
You didn't say anything.
No, you didn't say anything. I was saying you're talking about Brady. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. He does it week in and week out with just these random guys on their team. I mean, he could probably throw it to a refrigerator and.
Yeah, he made Chris Hogan.
It's a system. It's a system. Honestly, if you think about it, like if you look at New England throughout the years,
it doesn't matter who comes in.
Doesn't matter who comes in.
Brady was out that whole year.
At receiver.
When Brady had that leg injury, when they went low on him, they had
Matt Castle.
Matt Castle come in. He couldn't succeed anywhere else. He comes in there. They become a playoff team.
Yeah, and he got a big money contract out of it.
It's the scheme. He knows how to use the players to fit whatever scheme he needs to. He doesn't go in saying, "Oh, this is my scheme and you're going to run it no matter what." He goes, "Oh, you're the best at that. All right, we're going to let you do that. Oh, you're better at this, but you suck at that. Okay, we won't make you do that thing."
He plays to the player's strengths for sure. So, especially like when you saw last season when Brady was suspended, right? Last season, and then I believe Garoppolo went down, and then next week you had Jacoby Brissett come in, right? And then next thing you know, you see a run-heavy option offense out of the New England Patriots.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they won that
just adapts to whatever he needs.
Yeah,
he needs to do.
I'm pretty sure they won that game with Jacoby Brissett last year. I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure they won.
Most likely, yeah. I remember them coming in with backups, and I remember thinking last year, like, this guy can just, it doesn't matter who he has, he's gonna figure out what the other team's weakness is and what his strength is, and he's gonna capitalize on it.
Yeah, absolutely. It has a lot to do with I wouldn't say it's more Bill Belichick. He's definitely like the head of that whole regime that they have in New England. But Josh McDaniels is a huge part of that offense and how it operates. I feel that guy is a genius. He's not the best head coach in the world. Me coming from like a Denver fan myself, I've seen him. He can't manage a football team. But
and it was his first time. You got to get like the same with Belichick. His first time with the Browns, right? He didn't look that great, and then he goes over to the Patriots. It just I think if McDaniels gets another shot in the future, I think what you're saying is true. He's smart offensive mind, and I think he could be a good coach in the locker room.
But if you look back at it, what Denver was doing at the time, and like who they had on that team, and what McDaniels accomplished, like he came off a Super Bowl win, right? He's like, "Oh, I am king shit. I'm king shit. I'm gonna go over to Denver. We did mad Super Bowls.
Yeah, bring Tebow to the playoffs.
Yeah, and he had like Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, he got rid
some
of
the biggest personalities in the league." And then they couldn't handle him. He's just like, "No, I want to do it my way, blah, blah." And those guys like, "No, we got to do it our way." And then Brandon Marshall was out, and then Jay Cutler was out, and they brought Tebow in and all this and whatnot. So, I don't know, but he just needs to humble himself and needs to mature a little bit, and then, yeah, he'll be a great head coach. So,
okay, going on from that, we got a little bit of trouble in Chicago, it looks like. They signed Mike Glennon for 3 years at $50 million a season. That was before the season started, obviously. They needed a quarterback. But then they kind of traded the world for Trubisky, as you guys actually talked about last week. And Josh, you said they should start him. Ryan, you said, why would you throw him in there? Well, look at the score. I mean, 29-7, Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
it's not looking good. Would you start Trubisky next week,
See,
perhaps?
To me, it's after saying that last week, my thoughts this week are a little different. It doesn't matter who's in there. It's going to be bad. And thinking about it, I think, Ryan, you brought up this point last week and it really made me think. You don't want, when you have a team that's that bad around you, you don't want to throw a rookie quarterback that maybe was drafted too early because of his position. You don't want to throw him in there and then he messes up in any kind of way, or he gets low confidence right off the bat. You don't want to mess with anything like that. You want to make sure he's ready before you put him in there. And obviously the coaching staff is going to know. Them signing Glennon to that deal at first, well, they signed him before they picked up Trubisky, right? So I think their thoughts were maybe we can get something out of this guy. He's a big, tall quarterback with a good arm. But I think you're kind of seeing that he's more likely a backup.
Absolutely, I agree. Like, and with the money, that's what you expect as a starting quarterback coming into a team that needs a quarterback. Right, that's had quarterback troubles in the past. That's what you're going to pay him, right? That's what they're going to ask for. It's like, hey, I'm going to be that guy. Look at the team you have. Like, you're going to pay me money.
When you compare it to actual number one money, that's not that much.
That's not that much for Mike Glennon. Yeah, it may be a lot, but again,
and only $18 million of it is guaranteed.
Big, he's tall. He's got a big arm. He's had success in the past. Right, they pay him the money to be their starter, and then they draft Trubisky to sit behind him and just learn a little bit. Like, look at all the good quarterbacks that are in the league now that sat behind starting quarterbacks for the rookie year. You look at Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers sat behind. Yeah, I'm not comparing Brett Favre to Mike Glennon right now, but he sat behind Brett Favre for what 3 years, maybe.
Yeah, wow. It might have been more than that. I think it was
he sat
3-4.
there for a while, didn't say anything. Everyone was like, "Oh," but they had Favre. But you gotta let the quarterback sit there.
They learn, they develop.
They learn the speed in the game in practice. These guys are working every single day.
They get bigger, stronger. They learn technique more on point. It doesn't matter if they're obviously the game experience helps anyone, but that's something he can get once he has everything. His skill set more sharpened.
Absolutely, but again, you're gonna have Bears Nation just chomping at the bit for this guy though. They're gonna a couple more losses in. They're like,
they'll be calling for him. He'll start before the end. Of the
Bears
season
fans
sure.
are gonna be like, "Oh, we should win a Super Bowl every." Sorry, it's just,
Bears.
It's like no, you got to give this kid time. You don't want to kill him right off the bat, right? You don't want to ruin his confidence, and then it just goes all downhill from there. Now, I wouldn't be surprised the last couple weeks of the season he gets snaps. Right, like he's been in there for a couple weeks, or he's been in practice waiting patiently, but he gets snaps at the end of the year. But we'll see. I don't think you start him now. Absolutely not.
No.
You stick with Glennon,
especially seeing the team around him. They don't have
those
there's
weapons.
nothing for him.
Yeah,
there's nothing for him.
And the Meredith's out. I think Kevin White's hurt.
He's always hurt.
They don't have weapons. They just don't have the team right now.
Tariq Cohen.
He looked pretty good last week.
Looks the human joystick, man.
Well, 2 weeks in a row now.
Like I can juke, man.
Yeah, I was happy you told me about him because I ended up picking him in my DraftKings. I think I got like 12 points with him, 13 points
he's
for.
A good little guy. He's very one-dimensional. Hopefully, he can stay healthy. That's the only thing. He's very small. Can't be small in this league and stay healthy for very long. So,
anyway, so moving on from there as well. Giants lose to Ryan's second favorite team, the Lions. Got OBJ back, but makes no difference. They're 0-2. Next week, I believe they play Philadelphia.
The Giants, they play the Eagles next week in Philly. Philly's home opener.
Yep, and it's
division rivals.
Statistically, it's a must-win for New York. Since 1990, only 12% of teams who start 0-2 make the playoffs. Are the Giants going to make it? Will OBJ be in the Giants uniform for the next while? You guys were talking about him.
If I can't see a way that the Giants let him go, even if he doesn't want to sign a contract they're willing to give him, they'll still do a franchise tag. They're not going to let. He's the best weapon in the NFL probably when healthy. Right now, at least top 3.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If not number 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Him and Julio probably top of the pyramid when it comes to that, and there's no way he leaves New York. He's too electrifying. Absolutely not.
Especially in a big market like New York, they want to keep him in there.
They want to keep him. The fans love him. You don't get a lot of players for like that. New York Giants fans absolutely love, and they love Odell Beckham Jr. So he's just got to stay healthy. That's it. And as for a must win, it's way too early in the season.
Yeah,
it's way too early in the season.
I was just going by the stats.
Yeah, by the stats. I see what you're saying. It is still, regardless, win or lose here, you starting 0-2 isn't good for you in a season. It's going to be a hard climb for them, but it's all their offense is predicated on having Odell healthy and 100%, doing the quick routes, the deep routes, and mixing it all over the field. When he's a little hobbled, teams don't have to focus everybody on him as much, letting them open everything else up. That offensive line is absolutely terrible.
It's the worst.
They can't run the ball at all, so it just lets the defense just go right at the quarterback.
It's the worst. I was looking at Brian Baldinger. I don't know. You know Brian Baldinger?
Oh yeah, he's on the 97.5 The Fanatic, the radio show I listen to all the time.
If you look at his Twitter, he sits there and he records on his phone offensive line like technique.
Yeah,
and
all he does is game film constantly.
Everything game film constantly. And I was just laughing. I was howling at what he was saying about these offensive linemen for the Giants. They were terrible.
Yeah. You showed me a tweet actually. What was that tweet about Flowers?
Oh, Eric Flowers. He can protect his tweets, but he can't protect his quarterback.
Yeah, it shows him with a private Twitter account. That was a good one.
Man, that guy. You got to move him somewhere else. He can't be left tackle for you anymore. You can't rely on Eric Flowers to protect Eli Manning's blindside anymore.
And especially with Eli has no mobility at all. He can't evade anything. If you're coming at him, he's doing the Manning flop.
Did you see him just flop? Oh, it looked like Peyton.
Yeah, it's the Manning flop.
I was like, oh no, Ezekiel maybe just got his shoelace. No,
no, he's just falling down.
No, he just fell down. He doesn't want that. He had room to run. There was nobody in front of him. He could have rolled out, found somebody. But you can't help it. It's like that guy's been getting hit from the blind side for the past couple seasons because Eric Flowers over there just letting up. I'm not taking any credit from Ziggy Ansah or anything like that, but it's just not Ziggy Ansah. You get mediocre pass rushers out there getting pressure. I'm like, I'm sorry, this guy needs to move over. I would say move to right tackle, put someone else over at left tackle, do something different, because it's just not working. It's not working, especially it's not working in the pass game, and then they can't run the damn football.
Yeah.
Like I said yesterday with the Denver Broncos, the question I believe Paul came up with was how do you keep Simeon clean? How do you not get him sacked?
Yep.
You got to run the ball.
Yeah, but
and
they can't.
that was clear with the Giants on Monday night. They can't run the ball, and then they're going to get pressured.
That line just gets to pin their ears back and go after the quarterback, not worrying about hesitating and
exactly.
looking.
Especially when they consistently run on first down, right? And they only get a yard, if not lose a yard, or get back to the line of scrimmage. Congratulations, you have second and long. Those edge rushers are now pinning their ears back, and they're going. They'll give up the inside, right? Because they'll give up 3 yards and make it,
to
third and 7,
and
third and 5. That's fine for them just to get a sack. It's something needs to happen for them. So
this upcoming week is going to be a huge test for Odell. Even if he's, I'm assuming he's closer to 100% obviously now. But the thing was, they had Darius Slay on him, who's an athletic long corner. He's pretty much the one guy that you would want. That type of body, that type of speed and athleticism is who you'd want on Odell. Go over to the Eagles this upcoming week. We had Ronald Darby. I'm on the team. He got hurt. He's out he's the one guy that could have covered him. We don't have a single corner that can cover him right now. So it's going to show this week. If he doesn't do anything, either he's hurt or there's just something wrong with that offense.
So Ronald Darby's not playing?
No, he dislocated his ankle week 1. I'm just like he went to go tackle someone, or he was just off to the side. Just the way he planted, his ankle just completely dislocated.
So he's done for
4 to 6 weeks because it was just a dislocation, no tendon damage, nothing.
That's lucky. He's lucky. He was a good corner, looked great in the preseason.
Yeah, very fast. He bites a little bit, tries to jump forward, but
yeah, that's what you want in your corner. You want to make chances. That's why you have safety help, right?
Like Asante Samuel, that's what he was for us before. Us.
I'm gonna give a quick shout out to our 20 Facebook followers. We set a milestone.
We got 20 Facebook followers?
Or, likes, whatever.
Oh, Facebook likes. That's
Facebook
followers. It's the same
20
thing.
people like
It's the same thing. Yeah, I'm going to count it as 19, though. Josh pointed out one of our followers is, let me try this. Jamome James.
Jamone.
Shout out to Jamone.
Shout out to Jamone James.
That's our boy.
Number 1 fan.
YouTube looking pretty good. We're going to try to post this on iTunes. I'm still working on the iTunes. So that way it's easily accessible for iPhone users and iOS users. But on YouTube, we've got 50 views. Josh is our only comment. And then, Josh, did you mention that we have an Instagram?
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah. So our Instagram account now, basically just going to post NFL memes, just topics that we talked about, and just talking shit about Ryan, really.
Oh,
those memes.
Great. So that's what it's coming down
the
to.
memes. Yeah.
Ryan shit talk. That's fine.
I think we have 18 followers on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so that is going to be at Sportscasting Couch on Instagram. Just to let you know.
All right. We have anything else in the news?
Yeah, I got one more here for you guys. It is the early version of the QB Fantasy Power Rankings was released. Aaron Rodgers sits at number 1, going into Cincinnati next week, which that team looked like a mess last week playing.
Yeah.
Who the hell did they play last week?
Houston. Thursday night.
Oh, yeah. The
Thursday night snooze fest.
Shitty game.
Speaking of Thursday night snooze fest, this upcoming Thursday.
Oh, God. Yeah.
We'll get into that,
the big segment.
We'll get to that later.
So going from that, Rodgers sits at number 1. Ryan's boy sits at number 16. And Ryan's other boy, Jay Cutler, sits at 15. Now,
all right, that's my crack a beer moment.
number 2.
Just don't get too drunk or Dids will get mad at you.
2.
Hey, he said I got a 1 beer limit. This is my first beer.
Your one beer.
First beer.
He didn't say anything about Wells, though.
Yeah,
so
he said
good.
nothing about well drinks. So.
Yep. Anyway, so going from there, Jay Cutler almost lost to the Chargers on Sunday. It came down to that last second field goal, or 5 seconds left in the game, and they missed the field goal wide right. I think I messaged both of you in our group chat. I said, oh my God, I remember saying, what the hell just happened? Because there was 10 seconds left in the game and Chargers were driving down the field. And then all of a sudden there was a timeout, but Chargers didn't have any timeouts left. So Miami called a timeout for the Chargers with 10 seconds left in the game. when I think the Chargers were rushing to the line to kick a field goal. What's your opinion? Like, Josh, what do you think about? Would you have let them rush it? Or I mean, it did work. They iced the kicker to a sense.
That's the thing. There's two thoughts. There's two thoughts on that. The one, you ice the kicker and you get into his head, make him have to think about it a little longer. But at the same time, to me, if they're running up to the line, you have to do it quickly. That's I don't know if that's an advantage or if you're just not thinking you can go and kick it because you're just used to it. Maybe.
I found that really strange that they just called the timeout for him. I mean,
the only
I
other
didn't
thing
see the
is
situation. That's the only downside.
There's 10 seconds left. They call a timeout knowing that they could kick a field goal and go up. They want at least one chance to do something, get the ball, and go score if they do. That's something that could have been the thought process. You never really know what's going on in their head, though.
Yeah, it's a heat of the moment thing for those coaches to call those timeouts too. Like, I didn't see it. I looked for it online. I couldn't find the video. I didn't see what was going on. But when you watch it, was like the field goal unit set? Were they ready to kick? Then they called the timeout, or was it while they were rushing?
That's the thing. I didn't see it. I just remember following it on my phone because I was watching another game, and
then they just called timeout.
And then I just saw there was a timeout, and then the Twitter feed that pops up, it said, "Why would Miami call a timeout?" Like, everybody started tweeting about it, and I was like, "What the heck just happened?" And that was one of my games that, like, on our Yahoo pool, I was going perfect. And then I had Miami to win. And I was like, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking is they're thinking, hey, they could go up here. And then we have, say, 5 seconds left to score. We have Jay Cutler with a cannon. Yeah. You can try to bomb it deep.
That's true. Yeah. And then, or they can ice him. He got iced the week before and he missed it. So
clearly it worked. Yeah.
And it worked. He's a rookie kicker. So.
Yeah. Anyways, going back to the QB fantasy rankings that I was talking about that brought us into there. Jay Cutler was 24 for 33 for 230 yards and a touchdown, and he's sitting at 15 going in. I think he's going into the Jets next week, and then you have Seaman, 22 for 32 at 231 and 4 touchdowns. Now that's against the Cowboys, though. He just did that to the Cowboys, and they're going to Buffalo. I found it really interesting that in the early fantasy rankings for QBs that Seaman would be behind Cutler.
I think it's more the idea of the weapons that Cutler has around him. We have Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders for Simeon, but you go over to the Dolphins. They got Landry. They got Ajayi.
Who would you rather have, though, if you think about it?
Me, I would rather have the Dolphins.
You'd rather have the Dolphins.
The Dolphins wide receivers over. And then they also have the tight end blank in my name. Yeah, I don't know. I think. To me, having Landry, then again, maybe if the Broncos had a better quarterback, I guess you can't even say that because Simeon's been doing well. But I haven't seen. I thought Demaryius Thomas was going to be something amazing. I think he's kind of proven that he's not a go-to number one constantly. But then again, you watch the team a lot more than I do. What's your opinion on it?
He's been playing like he's played in years past. He makes big catches. He catches most of the balls that are caught to him. He has some drop issues every time now and again. He gets open. He does he catches those deep curls, those inside, like those down the middle balls. Right, he's a big body receiver, and he can burn you deep. He's still fast, so I believe he's still a number one threat. And then having Emmanuel Sanders,
with the speed on
he's out there. They're both number one wide receivers, and I think the Broncos are very lucky to have both those guys, right? And they're both consistently doing well, right? And what's making Simeon play so well is just they've been able to run the ball. They've been able to run the ball with C.J. Anderson consistently, and then when C.J. gets tired or anything like that, they have a backup with Jamal Charles, and he can run consistently. I believe they're both averaging.
I'm so mad that you guys got Jamal Charles.
5 yards a carry, close to 5 yards a carry, I believe, right now. So when you can run the ball, it's easy for them to play action, give Simeon some time, and then deliver it to those receivers that know how to run routes and catch the ball. So, and they all make difficult catches too. So it's
true.
Good.
I think good. The way I look at it, the receivers and the weapons for the Dolphins have had Tannehill, who I don't know why they keep trying to go to him thinking he's this amazing starting quarterback. I know obviously Jay Cutler's nothing amazing, but I think he's a lot better of a passer, stronger arm, maybe not more accurate, but he's going to take a lot more chances and give those receivers an opening.
People got to realize about Tannehill coming out of college, he was more of like a spread quarterback, like a mobile quarterback, right?
Using his legs
a lot, right? He went to Texas A&M, right? I believe he went from Texas A&M, went from Tannehill to Johnny Manziel. They were in the same system, right? So if you're looking at those two quarterbacks and the system that they're running, right? Both those quarterbacks haven't really been successful in the NFL at all. Johnny Manziel, of course, is not in the NFL.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he's trying to get a job in the CFL.
I think he went and he tried out and he didn't even get a callback or anything.
No,
Something
I think
like that for him.
I don't
Something
know.
he has other issues.
That guy needs to get sober, and then I don't know. I'm not saying he's like got drug problems or anything, but
No, it's
you gotta figure,
he
you
went
put
to,
yourself in that situation. You had the world, bud. You fucked up.
He went to rehab, did all that stuff. Yeah, I think regardless though, he's not fast enough to do the stuff that he did in college in the NFL. He doesn't have a strong enough arm. He's not smart enough with game planning and knowing where to go with the ball. I don't think. I love how we just got into Manziel, but I don't think Manziel.
Yeah, well, I don't know how we even got here, but whatever.
You brought us. You led us down that path.
I think I have some audio from when he was in. It was for the Ticats, I believe you said.
I don't remember.
He was trying out for him, but yeah, like before one of the practices.
Yeah, no one cares about.
Wake up, you drunk fuck.
I think that was the head coach of the Ticats.
That's his.
Yeah, it sounded like him. I'm not too sure.
God.
So that is the news. I mean, for headlines that we come up with, those are the headlines that we're kind of going into. And then I just wanted to make a correction of last week where you said Johnny Knox. I'm pretty sure he's not walking anymore. I know we were joking about it. He walks. He just walks with a limp.
Seriously?
Yeah,
so
I
he
read
still
about
walks
it.
with a limp?
I read about it.
Did you like if you look it up and you see that
If you watch the video, yeah.
it's fucking nasty.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
real
sorry,
nasty.
dude. Like you shouldn't be walking. I'm surprised. Like
Yeah.
Good for him. Yeah,
again, he
Yeah,
was one of those
definitely.
really small dudes. Like
You never want to see something like that happen in the NFL.
that's what happens when you're small in the NFL. Like I said earlier about Tariq Cohen. When you're small like that, those are big fucking bodies flying around, man.
yeah.
Those are big dudes that have been bred to run and hit people. So that's just physics. Like,
Yeah. Did I ever tell you guys, like, okay, we're not Lions fans. I think that was pretty obvious last week, whereas Ryan said, fuck the Lions, they suck. Josh doesn't like the Lions. I don't like the Lions. Did I tell you mainly, like, one of the things that bothers me about Lions fans don't know how to put stickers on their car. You know, like, fan stickers?
oh, like the decals on the windows?
Yeah, decal stickers.
They're always crooked.
They're crooked. They're straight. It doesn't make sense. I've seen one as bad as being on like a 30-degree angle down, which makes zero sense. I mean, unless that fan just doesn't like the Lions that much, but
Like the lions jumping down. Because I
Yeah.
think the logo, how it's supposed to go, it's supposed to be the
rise.
lions supposed to be jumping up.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's supposed to be rising.
it's about 25, 30 degrees rising, not descending. So
With their
they're-
franchise, they've
I'm
been
gonna try to
constant descent. I
next
guess
time
they're
I come
rising up
across a car with a decal, I'm gonna try to make an image gallery of it because it's not one or two. I've seen like
Yeah,
at least 10 of
I
them.
don't pay attention to it enough.
Yeah. So any fans out there, if you guys see any bad decals on cars and the logo's crooked or something stupid, send it in. We'll definitely post it.
Or just laugh at the lions because,
or the Lions.
the lions is the lions.
They are 2-0.
Just laugh at the car, the fact that it has a lion sticker on it.
They are 2-0 though. I mean, they're looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Stafford looked really good last week,
Yeah.
but the Giants' defense is terrible.
So as we were getting ready for the show here, Ryan brought up this Sherman Blast NFL for injury reports believes focuses to help gamblers. I didn't really get into the article too much. I just pulled it up right here, right now. Ryan, did you read this at all? Or
I didn't read it. I heard about it, but he might be right. Like they could be, again, it's the NFL just providing information, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's really the teams like putting out that information because they have to, right? They're covering their own ass. If a player says, "Oh, my ankle's kind of sore," they have to put it out there. They can't cover that up, right?
Yeah.
The teams have to report that, right? It's kind of to help the gamblers more than anything. If a player is being bothered by something, yeah, they need to know, right? So
I'd be interested to see what the actual reasoning for it is according to the league, whether it's true or not. Because I can see it being for the opponent that you're going into, not or knowing who's going to play, who's iffy kind of thing. But why do they need to give that advantage to the opponent? Why not keep it in house?
yeah, I guess it's game planning. I guess
It's weird to me though, because Goodell has mentioned a few times that the NFL is against the gambling. I know that they're slowly starting to go into it, but I've heard that the NFL doesn't want to associate itself with gambling and all that. So
I don't know. I don't think the NFL's the same with if you don't bet some money on it here and there. Like,
Yeah.
if you look at it, everyone's pools.
It's,
People got points spread. How much money places like Vegas would lose if they didn't have gambling on football or NFL football or anything like that. Again, they're going to have gambling regardless, but whether it be above ground or underground. So,
You guys want one of these towels or what? Because I kind of
what
do.
do we have here? It's a
Goodell with a clown nose.
Yeah.
Goodell clown towel.
Yeah.
Patriots just won't get over it, eh?
No. So
You guys cheated.
the
like, deal with it.
story here is Goodell clown towels signed by Brady's sells for $6,500 in auction.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Eh? Oh,
Like-
it's framed and everything. And
Wow.
Brady actually signed that, eh? I guess if you put it in front of him, he's got to sign it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's funny.
awesome.
It's a Barstool Sports towel. It's pretty
but it's
cool.
time to
You
get
felt it-
over the whole hate of Goodell because he's doing his job. I get he's going above and beyond, but he's trying to set an example. Don't break the rules. Don't deflate the balls. Don't look into somebody's locker room and know their plays and watch their practices.
It's keeping the integrity
The
of the
Patriots
game,
way.
right? So, Patriots way. Yeah, I don't have a problem with Goodell. Really, again, what Josh said is just he is going above and beyond, right? He's going those extra miles, right? So, keep the game authentic, right? So
The integrity, keep it in there.
he's keeping the integrity of the game, which I can get behind, but everyone boos him. I think it's funny, but
Okay, I think that actually sums up most of the news and anything else here. And no breaking news really to look at today other than this Sherman blast the NFL. So
I think that's just Sherman making noise. You
Mhm.
think about it,
He's
got
always
nothing to
vocal
whine
about something.
yeah, It's always
They were whining about. I think he said something about today. He's like, "Oh, the defense is going to carry the load for that team because their offense has been lackluster,
Mm.
right?" So he's like, "Oh, defense is going to carry the load." Blah 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 blah. He's just making noise. It's Richard Sherman. It's
Yeah,
Richard
that's
Sherman
what he
talk.
does.
That's what he does. He makes noise, right? So
Have you guys had a rematch in Madden since last week? Josh, you were 2-0 last week.
No, he doesn't play me.
no,
He
won't
hides
play
in the
me. He's
offline
afraid.
late.
Still hiding.
I have no offline. I'll play you whenever you want. Just let me know.
Would you guys be open to having fans email in their gamer tag and playing it at Sexbox?
Yeah, I'll smash you all.
No, I don't want to do that shit.
No,
He doesn't want to lose some more people. Yeah.
I throw mad picks. I don't want to do it.
Nobody throws more picks than me with who's that
I don't
quarterback?
know.
Who's the quarterback?
You haven't seen me this mad, and I'm tell you that right
in a
now.
while. Anyway, getting into our segment called "The Good, Bad, and the Ugly." Starting with Josh this week. Yeah, again.
Go from good down again, or what do you want to do? Mix it up, random order?
You do whatever you want, whatever you're feeling.
Well, I'll start with good. I think you'll be happy with this good. I had the Broncos defense holding Zeke to 9 carries for 8 yards, forcing Dak Prescott to have to throw the ball without being able to rely on the run. I think it showed the true Dak Prescott that he's not as good as everybody once thought when he doesn't have a run game helping him out the entire time. But that was crazy to me. I didn't think Cowboys line is thought of as one of the top lines in the league, if not the best line in the league. And the Broncos defensive line just absolutely destroyed them.
Yeah, and they've been shorthanded practically all season. They've had injuries on that defensive line, so I was very surprised. Very surprised with players like their nose tackle Domata Peko, kind of an older vet, right? He made a lot of noise in Cincinnati in his earliest career, but on Sunday he killed it, right? Especially that interior lineman with like their center Frederick, and they got big center, they're big guards on that Cowboy offensive line. I can't think of their names right off the bat, but to go out there and be a just absolute force in the middle of that offensive line, that's huge, especially as an older guy, an older Samoan dude. Again,
In a team that's known for running the ball, and no one
yeah.
can really stop him. Ezekiel doing I'm eating cereal or whatever he's doing.
Yeah, he's eating, and then he was the league's leading rusher last year. But again, it's tough. I don't know if it was the mile high air, the atmosphere, it's just the pure,
Come, please.
Oh yeah,
Gets to you.
It's like when you stop the run. I think that's what Denver's been trying to do for years and years now. You stop the run,
Force him into the pass with those
force him into
corners.
pass with those corners. it's a wrap. Like as long as they don't get beat deep or anything like that, forcing the throw. What makes Dak Prescott very dangerous is the ability for him to play action and move around. And when you have such a fast pursuit, fast like pass rush, it's gonna be hard for Dak.
Yeah,
of course. And I wasn't that surprised by that outcome.
No, and that's the thing that when I say it made me happy is because all I heard last year being an Eagles fan is how Dak had way better stats than Carson. He had way less interceptions, all that kind of stuff. And my argument was always he has this offensive line in this running game that just completely opens everything up. They're worried more about that running game, opposing defenses, than they are about the pass attack.
Yeah.
I think you actually had your bad was somewhat related to the Broncos.
Oh, the bad this week?
Ezekiel, I guess.
Oh, Ezekiel Elliott. Tell you what. I don't know. I watched the entire game. I like Ezekiel Elliott. I've liked Ezekiel Elliott last year. Going into this year, I know he's had that whole thing about him fighting girls, beating up his girlfriend or whatever. Whatever. My opinion on that, I'm just going to get into it really quickly. He shouldn't have been disciplined. First of all, he was found innocent. No charges pressed. Leave it at that.
Yeah, let him stay on my fantasy team.
Yeah, let him do whatever. Fine. There's probably worse things that people done in this league. But when it comes to having like a good attitude and like being a leader on your football team on Sunday, he did not show any of those sorts. And I was like, wow, this guy's kind of a douche.
That interception?
They showed him constantly. The interception, Chris Harris interception in the middle of the game, he literally saw it picked and just sat there. Right? What we call in the football world is a loaf. You're sitting there loafing around, not doing shit, not pursuing the football. He could have made that tackle. You know, he could have saved that defense, right, that has been on the field the entire time, right? Because they couldn't run the ball. They kept going 3 and out. They couldn't consistently sustain drives. And he couldn't sit there and run, you know, for 10, 15 seconds to like tackle somebody, you know, save them 15, 20 yards.
Yeah, give your team effort.
Sit there and pout. And then the whole game, they're constantly showing him on the sideline.
Whoa.
Pouting. I think we just might have the technical difficulties here.
Yeah. Oh, you're good. Keep going.
I don't know. I can't hear myself.
Yeah. I don't know. Go on.
But yeah.
It's Josh. I blame Josh.
Yeah, it was
Might be.
Yep.
Josh pulling cables here. But yeah, his attitude just shit. It was just a shitty attitude. Just like the whole time they're just showing angles of him pouting on the sideline, not talking to his teammates, you know, not getting behind his defense. All right, like
yeah, pouting because he didn't get to eat.
Pouting didn't get to eat.
Still
I'm
hungry.
not getting my carries. I'm not getting my touches. This is bullshit. I look like an idiot. Blah, blah, blah. It's like I don't know if it's that whole scandal getting behind him. Everything's weighing down. Mile high air.
Yeah, a lot of factors.
Orange Crush.
A great Broncos defensive line.
Yeah, great defensive line, great secondary. Just a lot of frustration.
It helps because your corners match up pretty perfectly with the Cowboys receivers. You have Talib can go on Dez. You got Roby to take the little guy.
Roby can take. Roby and Chris Harris were kind of switching between Cole Beasley and Tyrell Williams, I believe. Terrence Williams? Terrence Williams. Oh, yeah, Tyrell Williams in San Diego. But yeah, Terrence Williams. And, yeah, they'll have 3 elite corners. I wouldn't call all 3. I wouldn't call Bradley Roby really an elite corner.
He hasn't had a chance.
He hasn't really had a chance. But
I'd love to have
he's a number 1 corner on any other team. You put him on any other team, he's number 1 corner. The guy can shut down anyone. You put anyone in front of him, he'll cover him and cover him.
He's fast and he's got good hands.
He's fast, he's got good hands, he makes good plays. So I don't know, they're gonna make a lot of noise. So watch out for those guys.
Was that your bad?
That was his bad because my good,
okay.
good and his bad related. So I thought we just go right to that. If you want to tell him what your good is?
My good? My good this week. Very impressed by the Atlanta Falcons this week. I was very impressed by them. Last week they kind of struggled against the Chicago Bears.
Interesting. Last week you said the struggles of the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, but they bounced back, right?
Yeah.
And against Green Bay, a good team with good corners, a good secondary.
You have the stats for that, Paul?
You got to pull those up.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up for you.
I know Julio Jones is a beast. Right, I'm impressed with Julio Jones. Him staying healthy, catching the ball, nobody can check him. Doesn't matter who you got. right? He's going to be a factor in against anybody. The guy's an absolute freak of nature. So,
Julio, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no one on the Packers that can.
There's nobody on the Packers.
There's really no one in the league that can completely check him the whole game.
No, absolutely not. The Atlanta Falcons turned around. They're like, hey, we struggled against the Chicago Bears, and they came out and played the Packers. It was a good contending football team, and they kind of embarrassed them. Like the final score doesn't really show it, but
they were outplaying them that whole game.
They were outplaying them the entire game. It was never really close.
Yeah, I never really thought
the final score definitely doesn't show it, because I was watching that game and I almost had flashbacks to the Super Bowl. Where their defense just stopped playing in the third quarter, and at some point in the fourth quarter, I was just like, Green Bay might just come back and win this game or tie it. Something crazy is going to happen.
Green Bay scored 13 points.
13
in the
points
quarter
in the fourth.
To no points by Atlanta.
Yeah, so really 34-10 at one point.
Yeah. Well, if you look at their defense, they got a lot of young kids, a lot of young, fast, high octane kids, and I guess maybe they have limited gas tanks. Like they run out of gas. Yeah. Who knows?
No, they did look very good, as you said.
But yeah, that's my good for this week.
Yeah. So we'll jump into my bad then. Eagles coach Doug Peterson.
Uh-oh.
Didn't the Eagles win this week?
No, we lost to the Chiefs.
They lost.
They lost to the Chiefs?
Yeah, man.
Oh, they won. Oh, yeah, they did. They won last week.
Yeah, one week one against the Redskins. It's the thing that just kills me is every single week since last year, we go out or he goes out and says, "Oh yeah, we got to get the running game going this week." Then they throw it 80% of the time, and then after they go, "Yeah, we got to get the running game going. We should have did that. We'll come back." Blah 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 blah. Last year, Carson passed 607 times, which is second highest for rookies in league history. This year, he's thrown 85 passes through 2 games, so he's on pace for 690 attempts this year. That would just destroy the record.
Yeah.
So our team, and this is the thing that really bothered me. He goes and he says, "Yeah, we really got to get it going." There was some points there that we felt the passing game was better for us. It was kind of the flow of the game. We were down by 3. We were down by 6 at a point. It was like third quarter. We were within 3 points from them, and we didn't run the ball at all. We actually ran the entire game. We ran 17 plays, and we got 107 yards, 6.3 yards per carry. But he just gives up on it every week, and it really makes me mad.
I didn't realize you were on the roster. I gotta find that.
It's we, okay?
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats.
I bleed green.
Here.
I poop green too, okay?
Oh yeah. You do poop green, but I'm looking at the stats here. It looks like Philly outplayed them.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Right?
The entire game, we were outplaying them, stopping them on defense. They had no rushing yards until I think the fourth quarter. He had like 20 rushing yards total, and then Hunt goes off and gets 70-yard touchdown, 60-yard touchdown. I can't remember exactly how long it was, but
53-yarder.
53-yard touchdown. They had Kelsey, who had a long little scamper where he jumped over people. It's like the defense just kind of fell apart. We did lose our second string corner and our starting free safety Rodney McLeod in that game, so it was kind of an adjustment.
Huge.
But
Rodney McLeod, he's a presence in that secondary, especially over the middle of the field.
Yeah.
So especially if you let him go down and then you have Travis Kelce on the opposite side of the field, you're gonna have problems, right? So you need to have a player that can get inside the head of Travis Kelce, because he's got known issues with keeping his temper and things like that. All right, when he's not doing well, he gets really frustrated. And he'll give you free 15 yards doing dumb shit.
Yeah,
especially when he's not playing well. So I don't know, but when you look at that game, do you think it's Doug Peterson kind of playing it safe against his old mentor?
It's Doug Peterson being very he doesn't have any experience in this. He's been in the NFL for like a year and a half, 2 years. Well, before he got hired, he was there for 2 years, I think, as the quarterback coach for 1 year, and then the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. So he's never been a head coach in the NFL. Now he's jumping in as the head coach and calling the offensive plays. And like, when you're a brand new coach, you're trying to get the feel of everything. He doesn't get the. It's almost like you look at the sideline, and when he should be making adjustments and doing things, his face is just buried in his play chart, and I think the game overwhelms him, and he doesn't realize how much he's throwing the ball, because they constantly say after every single press conference, or after every single game in the press conference, we need to run the ball better. We need to blah, 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 blah. LeGarrette Blount, who we just got in the offseason, he's our best running back besides Sproles. He's our best actual runner. Didn't carry the ball one single time that game.
He didn't have a single touch.
Not one. He had one touch that got called back on a holding. But he's the type of back you can't just throw him in randomly and give him 3 carries a game. You need to feed him and let him get downhill, let him get his momentum going, and
absolutely.
get ready. He needs to build it through a couple plays, and then he's going to start hitting those holes. It's going to weaken the defense because he's such a truck that it hurts every time you get your tackle.
Yeah, you don't want to tackle guys like
no,
that.
exactly, and that's what they need to do. You need to start with the run, make people. Our offensive line is thought of as one of the best in the league. Run the freaking ball.
Yeah, you have to run the ball, right? It like you said, it hurts people, especially when you have big running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 1-2 yards right off the bat, but then they're gonna start breaking runs.
Yeah,
right. Because then those linebackers,
those corners don't want to hit them.
Corners are gonna like, okay, they're gonna start chopping their feet a little bit earlier this time. They're gonna give up those extra yards, right? And they're gonna be like, I need to go low. I need to go. I don't want to get hit by this guy. Like me coming from a personal preference, I don't hate hitting like big running backs. I hate it. It's just not fun to me.
No,
right?
I don't think it's fun to anyone.
Like nobody wants to get bowled over, right?
Especially when you're tired towards the end of the game, you're not 100% energy.
Exactly.
You're a little dinged up from everything. You're sore, and then you
drives.
see this big 250-pound, 240-pound running back coming at you.
Looking at the stats of that game, that I believe that the Eagles had 27 first downs compared to Kansas City's 18 first downs. Right, so that means they were getting drives.
We were marching down the field,
and
that's the thing. The pass game was working. It's just we can't have Carson drop back. I think it was in the 50s of how many times he dropped back that game to throw the ball, and then he's scrambling out, running it. You could literally see he would drop back. He'd take his 5-step drop. He'd be sitting in the pocket, and the offensive line would literally just be coming towards him because they were getting pushed back so much because the defense knew every single play it wasn't a run, it's a pass. So we're just going to come right at the quarterback.
Yeah.
So you would see he would go to throw, and the guys would be right in front of him. One on a screen pass, he hit it off someone's helmet. That's the only interception he had that game, off of someone's helmet, because they're pressing him so much.
Jesus.
But yeah. LeGarrette Blount needs to come in the game. Once you pass that 50-yard line, you have 2 or 3 first downs already in that drive. That defense is like, they're kind of breathing heavy. And then, hey, now we got to check a big, 6 foot. Let's see, what, 6 foot flat, 6'1", 6'2". He's a big running back. He's like 230, 240 pounds. He's this is someone you gotta put him in there. You gotta put him there to sustain your drives afterwards, and then eventually he scores touchdowns. He led the league in touchdowns last year. There's a reason.
Yeah.
So
that's what he's good at. You got your ugly?
Oh, my ugly. Oof.
I think you said it was the kicker, right?
Yeah, it was that San Diego kicker.
Yeah, Young Ho Koo.
Young Ho Koo. Like, I can't really dog him that much. But
Keanu
honestly,
Reeves?
back-to-back weeks. Right, last week they played Denver. He missed
44-yarder, just same as this week. 44-yarder.
44-yarder after getting iced. Right, and what makes this my ugly? After that game, I believe he went to the media and was like, "Hey, I live for those moments. I'm gonna make them as they come along." Blah blah blah. Next following week, he's the exact same situation. He misses the field goal.
Line.
I'm sorry, big fella, but you got to start making some clutch kicks here if you're gonna make it in this league.
Yeah, that's 2 games. The first game they could have went to overtime against the Broncos. This game they could have won the game against the Dolphins.
Yeah, like it's the worst, especially as a kicker when your team's sitting there fighting for the entire football game for 4 quarters, and it comes down to one kicker that maybe saw the field for 30 total seconds, right? And he just fucking shanks one. I'm sorry, but there was no pressure on you. Like when it comes to, it wasn't a bad snap, it wasn't a bad hold. You just blatantly missed it.
It's not a 44-yarder in the NFL. Is not a long field goal anymore.
No, it's not a long field goal, and you got to make the kicks. So that's my ugly, man. I'm sorry. You got the game's on the line. You got to make the kicks.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking about that one for my ugly as well, but I actually decided to go with just Thursday night football in general. It's that game was absolutely terrible, and now we have the privilege of getting to watch the Niners versus the Rams this week. Yippee.
You know what? I'm excited for that game.
Yeah?
Yeah, I want to see Cooper Kupp, just kill it. I love Cooper Kupp. I love the way that guy plays, man. But you're right. It's an absolute
it's the Niners. There's nothing on the Niners you want to watch.
It's
like not a single part of the Niners you want to watch. The
especially
Rams.
If Carlos Hyde isn't running the ball well. It's like, I'm sorry. I don't want to see Brian Hoyer drop back the pass to...
exactly.
No,
their number one's Pierre Garçon.
I said when you said Young Hoku, I said Keanu Reeves. I actually meant the Houston kicker, Kaimi Fairbairn. It's like
Fairbairn?
Keanu Reeves.
Never
No?
even heard of this guy.
Mm-mm.
Are you kidding? You didn't hear about him? He's the only one getting points on the team on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but
Yay, Thursday. That's what I mean. It's
I fell asleep.
That's
during
all it
the
was. It was a
Cincinnati
kicker's
Houston
game until the
yeah.
final.
I get the
final
Friday
touchdown.
and Saturday is kind of college football, but I think Thursday is just too quick off of a turnaround. Usually you think about it, you get Monday, maybe Tuesday off after a Sunday game, and then you come back in Wednesday. But when you have to come back and play Thursday, you can't have any time off. You got to get back in there, getting all ready for a short week.
Yeah,
I feel like
I
if they
agree.
even bumped it one extra day, give them that one extra day off, have a Friday night football instead of a
Friday
Thursday night football,
would be cool.
I feel like it would
like
do better, and
You get
the
more
players,
ratings too.
Yeah.
A lot more people will watch it, honestly, because there's a lot of these games. It's late. Like a lot of people got to work on Friday morning too. Right? They're not gonna stay up till.
Especially, they're not going to stay up for Niners versus Rams. They're not going to stay up for the Bengals versus Texans or whatever it was last week.
But I don't know the whole logistics behind all that shit. Like
Yeah.
why they do two Thursday
Yeah,
night football.
there must
is
be a reason. They're thinking people go out on Friday nights. There's more eyes on the
Maybe.
TV on a Thursday night kind of thing. But it just does. It clearly just
More
doesn't
eyes
work.
on the TV at home because it will go by TV, right, for the ratings. Whereas everybody's out. I would love to go watch a game at a bar on a Friday night, but Thursday they want those TV ratings from the house, right? So
Yeah. But
so that's your ugly, yeah. That
Yeah.
Thursday and
fucking
It's
Thursday.
just
going
just
back to
Thursday in
back
general.
shit bowls for Thursday.
Yeah, it's like Ryan was saying last week. It's low scoring games every week.
every single week. I don't know if you can bring it up like the upcoming Thursday night football schedule. Like I don't think there's anything to look forward to.
I don't even know. We'll have to
Rams.
check that in a
I'll
little bit.
I'll bring it up. Yeah.
49ers, but
Well, it'll lead us into our week 3 picks, I guess.
No.
And starting with the shit bowl, we're going LA Rams at San Francisco.
oh my god, crowd noise might be a factor.
In San Fran, all
San
17
Fran.
other fans that come out to watch the games now.
Yeah, well, better than LA.
Yeah,
So
and the Chargers. Well, both LA. Yeah.
yeah, LA and the Chargers are both. That's a tough one right there, but
Yeah, to me, it's
and-
Thursday night football. It sucks, and it's almost impossible to bet because the shittier team wins sometimes in it just because of the quick turnaround. To me, this one, I'm just going Rams, but I have no clue.
yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams as well. They've been playing better football. When you look at it, they've been playing a lot better all around football. Defensive lines kind of got a little bit of some troubles stopping the run, especially with Carlos Hyde coming up. So that's kind of iffy for me, but I like where the passing game for the Rams are going, and then the Rams always have like that very intense defense, that fly around defense. And I think they'll embrace the moment of thinking, like, hey, we're actually got a primetime game this year. Like both teams, like, oh, we're gonna come out here and ball in a primetime game. So, but I give the edge to the Rams, so I'm gonna go with the Rams.
Yeah, and you see that total on there too. Is for the total is 39.5 for the game. So
Bet the
They're-
under.
they're kind of expecting another low-scoring game.
I think
as well,
I
right?
think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Honestly, I think it'll be one of those games where you're going to see a lot of players fly around, make a lot of plays. that
Ryan,
you've
are
never
you going to
seen.
go out on a whim because it's a Thursday game and give us a final score prediction too, or
Oh,
what?
do you want me to
17-14.
go 17-14? Let's see. I'm going to go with let's go 28-21 for the Rams.
Wow,
by a touchdown.
that's a high scoring game.
Yeah, I'm going to go
Well,
28-21.
I guess I'll take that over on the total.
Yeah, I'd go 17-10 Rams.
Oh, Jesus.
You love those snooze fests, eh?
17.
I don't love them. That's just Thursday night football. It's my ugly. I got to make it uglier.
That's true. You got to back your points up.
Yeah.
As far as my pick goes for that game, I'm going to take the Rams. I picked them last week to beat Washington, and it was close. It came down to the final 2 minutes in that game, and then they threw a pick to lose to Washington, and I was hoping they were going to tie it up. That was on my pro line. The only game I got wrong. I was 14 out of 15. My picks didn't match my picks from here because, like we mentioned, they might change a little bit.
Slightly by Sunday.
Yeah, and then on Sunday morning, I have a way I do my picks for Proline, and that was the only game I got wrong, so I missed out on about $2,000.
That sounds like the biggest,
Yes.
fattest excuse I've ever heard in my life.
Huh? I'll take a screenshot for you.
No, that's fine. No, yeah,
Oh, I forgot my
who's in
ticket again.
first
I was gonna
place?
rip. I should
Oh,
just
I bet.
fake rip a
I'm
ticket.
pretty sure this ticket doesn't even exist. So
Wait,
you're just mad because I'm winning.
we're moving. We're moving on to Baltimore versus Jacksonville.
That's the best analyst.
Yeah.
Okay, it's at Jacksonville.
Yeah,
So
Baltimore
the
at
first one.
Jacksonville.
Yep.
So to me, the Ravens are without their top lineman Yonda. That's against the Jags defense with a good defensive line. That's definitely a problem. I think the Jags should be able to create pressure. It's also a look ahead game for the Ravens because they're playing their biggest rival in the Steelers next week. I think Jags, they're going to need to focus on the run, march the ball down the field slowly because you can't trust Bortles. The only other thing is the Jags actually have experience because this is a 9:30 a.m. game in London. So the Jags are used to this. They did this last year against the Colts. I think it's going to be a pretty close game. I think the Jaguars are going to win it unless Bortles messes it up. So give me an asterisk on that. If Bortles messes up,
You can't throw asterisk.
No,
Don't
I'm
even
kidding,
dare
I'm
write that
I'm
down.
kidding. I got
Fucking
Jacksonville.
dare.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens. The Ravens, they've been playing really well. Their defense has been playing really well. Their offense has been firing all cylinders as well. Like I just feel like it's going neutral stadium in was this is going into what's England, London, England? Is that where they're playing?
Yeah, in London.
London,
9:30
England.
a.m.
So I got to give the edge to the Baltimore Ravens.
What about you, Pablo?
Originally had Baltimore, and then you mentioned that's why I was confused as to why it said versus Jacksonville, but I realized there's no real home field advantage. I wrote down Baltimore at first, and I switched my pick to Jacksonville because I remember, they played pretty good.
Because I remember
Yeah, I remember last year. Was it last year they played
the Colts.
the Colts, yeah. And I remember waking up and I go,
Yeah.
Game's
They're
they're
used to
playing-
it. They know what to
they're
expect
playing-
by
yeah,
going
exactly.
traveling and
Yeah,
The
everything.
game's kind of a toss-up too, right?
Yeah.
You got a good
It
young,
is a toss-up,
fast defense against.
but look at-
definitely, it's a
like
close.
you said last week, look at their stable. They got three good running backs.
three
that-
good running backs, but if they stop the
But-
run, they got to rely on Blake Bortles. Just
Yeah,
hasn't been a
that's-
consistent.
and they don't have
quarterback.
Allen Robinson. He's hurt.
They don't have
so
Allen Robinson.
That's the only
so
Why are
weapon.
you
That's
guys
why I said
fucking
that.
with my pick, man?
I picked
Sorry,
Jaguars
man.
with you. What
Maybe
do you
I'll
mean?
go Baltimore now. I don't
Oh,
know.
you get-
Okay, no,
Maybe
I'm going
you should do your
Jackson.
research, Mr. 14 for 15, or whatever the fuck you're talking about.
He picks by the team names.
I
Okay.
can prove it.
Ooh,
He looks at pictures.
No,
I
I
want
like-
the kitties.
I
I
like
want
the
the kitties over the birds.
So pretty.
Fuck.
Oh yeah.
All right, what's next?
No, but
Next is the cows versus the horses.
Let's go. Let's go. Broncos. Broncos.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go. Broncos. Broncos. Let's go.
I'll let Josh go first on this.
all
one.
three of us are taking Denver.
Again?
Who says I was picking Denver?
Okay.
You don't think I have insider information? You don't
So-
think I know what's going on?
Go on.
So what do you got then? Tell us.
Go
Oh,
on.
I got the Broncos. Yeah, it's in Buffalo. That's fine. That's okay. But if you look at it on paper, you look how the defense for the Broncos have been playing. I don't think Tyrod Taylor has a chance. I think they're gonna shut down LaShawn McCoy.
Yep.
It's gonna be a shit show. And then you're looking at the defensive line for Buffalo this week. They've been hurt. Marcel Darius has been hurt. I believe they have some other defensive lineman. I can't remember his name, but he's been hurt. Like, if you don't have those interior linemen on your defense, you're
Especially
gonna
with
get
this new
got-
running game from the Broncos.
with the Broncos with C.J. Anderson and Jamal Charles, like they're gonna run wild. I feel like it's gonna be gonna be an absolute. I might call a blowout. I might
This is
call
your
a
lock of the
blowout
week?
win.
We'll get there. We'll get there
We'll
at
get
the end
there.
of the picks
We'll
for
get
sure.
there.
So I agree with you, especially if you look at the Cowboys last week, how they got 8 yards or 8 yards on 9 carries, or 9 carries, whatever it is. Unless the Bills looked at that tape and they saw something in the Broncos defense that they could figure out how to work around that run defense, I don't see how, if Ezekiel Elliott couldn't run the ball on the Broncos, I don't see how the Bills are going to run on the Broncos.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Like, I understand that Sean McCoy's a real shady back. Like, he's a shifty back. They call him Shady McCoy for a reason, but he's real shifty.
Cut on a dime is
He
Twitter.
can cut on a dime, but again, that Denver defense is super fast, and they all fly to the football. It's one of those things you see that you don't see a lot of these NFL defenses doing. That, yeah, the first guy might not make that tackle, but there's 3 or 4 other guys right there to make that tackle, right? And they make an emphasis on that.
And it
Excuse me.
goes...
But they're not going to let those big plays happen, right? They're not going to let LaShawn McCoy break one. Yeah, he'll get a couple, he'll make a couple miss and get 4 or 5 yards. That's fine. But they won't let those big plays happen. And once it comes down the red zone and then there's a short field, like they're not going to score. So I feel like it's going to be another Trevor Siemian clinic and a CJ Anderson running all over the place, and you're going to have a one-sided affair.
It's a lot like what I said earlier about the corners against the Dallas receivers, except the Bills have no receivers except for Jordan Matthews.
Yeah.
So who's going to get open? And all they're going to have to do is single cover these receivers, put everybody on LaShawn McCoy in the run game. What do you got?
And you're looking at the other side of the ball as well. It's like who has what do the Buffalo Bills have to cover Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders? They got rid of Ronald Darby.
The only chance they have is if Darius is playing
Marcel
healthy
Darius
and gets at the
pressure.
quarterback. But Simeon's been pretty smart,
making
the right decisions. So I got Broncos as well.
Yeah, Broncos is easy pick.
I took the Broncos. My reasoning behind it
Because
really
Josh
is,
and Ryan picked the Broncos.
Yeah, that's probably
the pretty horse.
The pretty horse.
No, last week you said Denver's got to run the ball better to help Simeon not get sacked. He got sacked twice, but that's, again, 4 wasn't bad, 2's even less, so come on, can do the math, right?
Well, again, one of those sacks was
that
a
is
sack
good math.
fumble, and they ended up in a touchdown.
Okay,
But
all right. But they're playing the Cowboys, which defensive line is amazing. So he still threw up 4 touchdowns, and then to help him out, look at the numbers for the rush yards. C.J. Anderson had 25 rushes for 118 yards and touchdown. Jamal Charles had 46 yards. So they adjusted completely from what their faults were in week 1. And
they did what you need to do.
They did
Run
what
the
they
ball,
had to do,
set up the
and
pass.
now they're going to go
Run
into
the ball, set the
Buffalo
play action.
and just kick the shit out of them. I say blowout as well, but Buffalo Nation, the fans always win. You always see them jumping through tables and stuff.
it's going to be
That's one
it's gonna be
crazy
a
fan
hostile
base,
environment.
man.
Again, it's hard to win on the road.
Yep.
Not
So-
hard to win against Buffalo.
Are they going to
It's
throw? Are they going to throw a semen covered dildo onto the field for Trevor
like they
Siemian?
did with was it
Tom
Brady?
Tom
Yeah.
Brady.
You just don't like him, man. You just don't like Trevor.
You just like
Siemian.
saying semen.
New Orleans
loves it.
at Carolina.
New Orleans at Carolina. Oof.
Yeah.
Just two of those teams.
For me, it's Carolina doesn't have any receiver. Kelvin Benjamin, but he's not. You saw how big he was in the offseason. He's not the same receiver he's been. They just lost Greg Olsen, their number one guy. So really, their offense is based within 5 yards. They get it to Christian McCaffrey or they run the ball. That's pretty much what they're doing. But the good news with this is they play a terrible Saints defense that they should be able to open up everything, move the ball on the ground, do all that kind of stuff. I don't know. What do you think with it?
I think losing Greg Olsen is huge. Right, it's a huge security blanket for Cam Newton. Right, Cam Newton likes to hold on to the ball for a while. Right, likes to give up those sacks. So without Greg Olsen being where he's supposed to be, it's gonna have a factor. But again, you still have those big receivers. You have Kelvin Benjamin, you have Devin Funchess, and those guys, and then you have the Christian McCaffrey factor. I think you're gonna have a breakout game from Christian McCaffrey. Honestly, I think
Have to.
Yeah, he has to. Like they were, it felt like it was kind of pathetic how they were trying to get him the ball last week, right? It's like, it was like, hey, we need to get this guy the ball in his hands.
Like constant, yeah.
Like constantly trying to get the ball in this guy's hands. Like you need to pick and choose. You got to get the ball to your other playmakers and then get the attention off Christian McCaffrey, because as soon as McCaffrey number 22 comes out in the game,
they know
it's like, oh,
the
ball's they're gonna try and get the ball in this guy's hands. So I think they got a game plan a little bit better. I think they're gonna they're gonna repair the mistakes they made last week, and I think they're gonna play well. I think they're gonna beat the New Orleans Saints.
I see a run heavy game plan. A lot of pistol, a lot of play action, doing different things from Carolina, trying to keep Breeze off the field. Now Breeze isn't as good on the road. He does a lot better in his dome at home. So that's the main reason that I'm picking the Panthers.
Yep. I think you're going to see a lot of read option too, especially.
They have to run the ball. They have to pound it down them, chew clock off of them. Don't let Breeze touch the ball as much as possible. Win with defense in the running game, field position.
Yep.
I just think New Orleans plays much better on turf than they do on real grass.
Yeah.
And Carolina's just going to take this one. So I got Carolina.
Yep.
Pittsburgh at Chicago.
Pittsburgh.
Oh, I didn't cue the crickets.
Hey, well, Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh all the way across.
Mhm.
right?
I don't think you have anyone that can cover Antonio Brown, and
No.
Shit.
he's gonna have a day.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me is that and it's not even a worry because it's the Bears, but this could be a definite look-ahead game with the Steelers because next week they're playing the Ravens. Like I said earlier, that's a big rivalry between the two teams, so they could be coming and saying, "Oh, Chicago, whatever, we'll get through them," but we're really worried about this next week.
They could
Can't
always
do that
overlook
against
them.
any NFL team.
You can't overlook them, but I feel like I'm gonna go on a limb here and see. I read earlier that James Harrison hasn't been getting a lot of snaps, right? And then Mike Tomlin all this week's been feeling questioned. Why isn't James Harrison getting a lot of snaps? Yeah, he's up there in age and things like that, but the guy's an absolute monster.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's going to come out this week. He might kill somebody.
It's possible.
And I think it might be Mike
Some
Glennon.
of his workout.
I think it might be Mike Glennon, and you might see some Mitch Trubisky action earlier than you'd want. So, but I got Pittsburgh out, right?
Yeah, same with me. I see Antonio Brown 150 plus receiving yards.
Yeah,
this
and
week.
I got Le'Veon Bell over 100 yards. I think he has
This should be a breakout game for them unless they're
way too many weapons,
looking ahead.
So, yeah, it's an easy one.
Moving on to the next game, a big one. We got Atlanta at Detroit.
Oh my God!
Was that a roar?
Scroll this down. I can't even see what we're even looking at here.
Oh, sorry about that.
Jesus. All right.
Yeah, right here.
Atlanta at Detroit. In Detroit.
The Falcons, they play a lot better at home as well, but it's not really a thing that I think is going to come into a factor as much with the home crowd. Detroit likes to be behind in the fourth quarter just so they can make their comebacks.
Yep.
And look at this team too. I mean, Atlanta, they fizz out in the fourth quarter. That's going to be a huge factor.
Yeah, exactly.
Can Atlanta get ahead enough to hold off that fourth quarter drive by Detroit?
Yeah, it's a close game. Atlanta's right tackle Schrader, he's out this game. So that's whoever's either Ansa or I think it's Zittel that's on the other side. Zettel. Yeah. Whoever's on that side is going to have a good game. Mm-hmm. It's just I think it's all about the Lions offense need to run the ball. They need to get their running backs into the passing game as well, because that Atlanta front on the defense is they're good. They're going to get to Stafford. It's just about keeping them honest.
I don't think it's going to be that good of that close of a game as you think.
Because you hate the Lions?
It's not that I hate the Lions. I'm just looking at the paper. I'm looking at the facts here, right? I'm looking at it. I've been saying this for years. Detroit can't beat good teams. Every time they match up against a good team, they can't win, and they don't even come close. Yeah, it's in Detroit. That's fine. But when you got the Atlanta Falcons, you got nobody that can cover Julio Jones. You're going to have to put Darius Slay on there. This is going to be the biggest matchup Darius Slay's ever had. Easily.
On Julio?
On Julio Jones. And I don't think he'll be able to do it. Right? This will be the make or break. This will be the make or break game whether or not Darius Slay is an elite coverage corner in the NFL. Easily. Now, that being said, you still got other weapons like Mohamed Sanu. Right? And then you got other weapons like Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman.
Yeah.
Right? All those guys. You need to check that guy. You need to check those guys. Now, last game for the Lions, Gerard Davis went down with a concussion, so he's going to be questionable for that game. He's still in concussion protocol now. Again, it's tough to tell, but when it comes to Detroit, I think Detroit falls behind. They lose the running game. They've been run heavy. They've been relying on that run game the past couple of weeks.
And this is a team that'll be hard to run against.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to run against. It's going to be hard to pass against too. So I think the Lions. I think they got the Falcons on this one. So
yeah, that's the thing. I don't know what to see or how to feel about the Lions. Last week they looked good, really good, but it's against a Giants team that just has not been able to get anything together. So is that because the Lions did so well, or is it because the Giants just are sucking right now?
And then the week before you played the Cardinals, where you have a struggling quarterback in Carson Palmer, right? So it's. Again, the Lions, and if they want to be successful, if they want to beat the Falcons, the one key to success to beat them, they have to get pressure on the quarterback. Yeah, they have to. They got pressure. They have to pressure Matt Ryan, and then they They can't give time for Julio Jones to get down the field. Right. Once Julio Jones has time to get down the field and get separation from those corners, right, it's over. Right, because Matt Ryan's going to put that ball on the money, and it's going to be over. And then they have to stop the run. So. And it's hard to do that with two great running backs in Atlanta. So, I got Atlanta in this one outright.
I was really iffy with this, but I'm going to go with Atlanta as well.
And it looks like we all agree on Atlanta. Like I said earlier, The only thing that scares me really is Detroit coming back in the fourth quarter on this one. And I know I said that last week and they blew out the Giants, but that's all right.
Yeah, it's like you said earlier, Atlanta doesn't like to play in the fourth quarter, so you never know. Perfect recipe for Matt Stafford to go off.
Yep. Next one we got is Cleveland at Indianapolis.
Do we have to?
we do have to.
Do we really have to pick this game? Can we just not pick this game?
Yeah.
No, we have to pick this game, unfortunately.
I
mean, we can just
Andy Luck's
give you no pick, and then we'll just kind of...
Yeah, you can just get an automatic L.
Yeah. Andy Luck's ruled out again.
Yep. They got Brissett starting, which is obviously better than Tolzien because he played a lot better than Tolzien did last week or 2 weeks ago. Me looking at the game and seeing Cleveland as a 1.5 favorite on the road is really the only reason I'm picking Cleveland.
Ooh. 1.5 favorite on the road. That is interesting.
Yeah, exactly. The line's telling you something.
A lot of faith in Deshaun Kaiser, and you got a lot of young kids on that team. But I'm gonna go with Indy just because they're at home in a dome.
You can also, yeah. Are you going Indy?
So you
going Indy.
So he took the L there because I took Cleveland.
Yeah. So me for that, it's the other thing too. I've been saying
I'm ahead one game anyway, so I'll give you guys one.
It's kind of been my theme of the show. The look ahead factor. The Colts are playing in Seattle next week. They might come in here looking, it's just the Browns, we're at home, whatever. We need to prepare for the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle.
I think they're trying to struggle to, field 53 dudes.
Yeah, just figure out the entire thing. Yeah, exactly.
Get people out there to play for them, so I don't know about that factor in this game, but...
It does scare me that the Browns are without Corey Coleman.
Yeah, they are,
out, so
it's
going to be a Browns run game, strong defense.
Interesting game. It's one of those toss-up games. You don't know what's going to happen. It's one of those... I don't even think, if you're looking at Pro Line, I don't know if our listeners know what Pro Line is, but it's one of those, I don't think you can even throw a box on it, right? So they're too
I will.
poopy.
Hold on, I'm going to throw a box on that
you
one.
can't box this shit, but still, it's too, like, not good teams, and you just don't know what's going to happen. So I just got to give the edge of the home team.
Cool. We got Tampa Bay at Minnesota.
Yeah, well, this one's going to be one of my things from last week, like Odell, so...
Yeah,
you go first.
If Bradford plays, I got Minnesota. But
if Bradford plays, Minnesota. If Bradford doesn't play,
he's been limited.
I did put
bucket of queers.
I put Brad as an asterisk on here. I the same way. So
he's been limited, but Tampa Bay's been looking good. When you look at it on paper, you got who are your weapons on Tampa Bay? You got they're still without Doug Martin. Right, I don't think he's back yet. Doug Martin's back, and they have Mike Evans, and they got Jameis Winston.
Yeah, because I don't think Week 1 counted as any part of his suspension because they didn't play Week 1.
Yeah,
first Miami.
Now, who's Minnesota got as a backup to fill in for Bradford?
Who did play last week? I can't think of it.
Oh my god,
he didn't play well. So
I thought I'd throw you guys a curveball here.
Yeah, you did.
I'll pull it up.
It's at the top of my head.
Anyway, so if Bradford plays, you're taking Minnesota.
We're
all doing that pretty much, right? It seems like.
I'm gonna go an outright on this one. I'm gonna go Minnesota outright. Doesn't matter who they put out there. I think Xavier Rhodes is gonna shut down Mike Evans completely. And I think you're gonna have a defensive struggle. You're gonna have and then I think Minnesota Vikings defense is way better than the Tampa Bay Vikings defense, and that's it.
Yeah, so it's Case Keenum that's the starter there. But yeah, I have what I already said. It's if Bradford plays, I got the Vikings. If he doesn't, because I actually think the Buccaneers are going to be a pretty good team this year. They have the offensive weapons. Their defense is pretty good with a great defensive line. Gerald McCoy right there in the middle. So I think they would have a shot, especially if Bradford's not in. I actually think they would be a pretty heavy favorite. That's why you see there's not even a line right now because they don't know if Bradford's playing or not, so they can't figure it out.
It's a toss-up either way, even if he does play. So
you just like making me do extra work because then I have to put his photo in there and put a check mark.
I'm not doing that. That's why I say Minnesota outright.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Moving on to Houston at New England.
That's New England.
That's New England.
Yeah. New England, come on.
I got that too.
Yeah.
But I still have to write it down. You guys don't have to talk about it, but I do have to write it down. So
obvious reasons.
Talk about it slightly. Just because the Texans' defense is good.
Their kicker's good.
The kicker's good.
The quarterback is actually
he's a rookie against Bill Belichick.
Run?
That's what. Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh, he had a great run
fast
for the touchdown. Yeah, he looks like he has a chance to be something. But Bill Belichick's gonna scheme something that he's never seen. Because he's the defensive wizard, he's going to do that.
They have to. If they don't and they sleep on Deshaun Watson, he might fuck him up.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. He can come out there and just run all. He could throw a Michael Vick on you and just fuck you up for 180 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground, and hello.
Hello.
Well, I just don't think that Hopkins is good, but having whatever corner they decide to put on him, Butler or Gilmore, should be able to hold him for a little bit.
Gilmore is a better cover corner.
I don't know if they're
him,
following or not, though. I don't know if they're
think-
just
I
playing
think they play
sides.
sides.
Yeah, so it just depends where he lines up. But besides that, there's not much. There's Lamar Miller, but the Patriots defense is just too
you don't
smart.
know who you're gonna get, but you don't know who you're gonna get.
They scheme their way to wins every
Yeah,
week.
you're right.
We got Jay Cutler with Miami going to one of Josh's bottom 4 teams in the New York Jets.
Yeah, so Jay Cutler looked pretty good, decent, I guess, in the home opener. 24-33, 230 for 1 touchdown, and the Jets suck. So I'm going Dolphins.
Yeah, Dolphins as well. Jay Ajayi gonna have a game again.
-6 road favorite.
Mm-hmm. Her -6 road favorite, but that Jets defensive line, they're still big boys down there. So I think Miami runs the ball and they run it right down their throat, and I think the Jets offense struggles, and you have kind of a boring game.
I was going Miami all the way. I just wanted to see what this one would give me here.
Miami.
There we go. That's who I'm picking. And to round out the 1 o'clock games, we got New York Giants at Philadelphia. And
you don't have
that's
a fucking song for Josh's team? Or?
Oh, shit.
Are you kidding me?
All right, let's start over this whole podcast.
There it is.
Let's go. We got the Giants with a must-win
Clap your
situation
damn wings.
at Philadelphia.
There it is.
So it's a short week for the Giants off of Monday night.
Yeah.
The thing to me is we have our strength on the offensive line is our tackles, Jason Peters, Lane Johnson. Their defensive line, I think they'll be able to hold Vernon and Jason Pierre-Paul in at least a respectable game. They might get to the quarterback a couple times, but I think they should be able to hold them for the most part. The one part that scares me is up the middle is Damon Harrison, Snacks. He's good, and we have probably the smallest center in the league, and our left guard is a second-year guy that really struggled last week in pass protection. So that scares me. Mm-hmm. They could get right up the middle. It could end up that we can't run the ball and we just abandon it right away, which it's literally going to be 2 teams that don't run the ball trying to do play action the entire game, even though no one's going to respect it. But that's the only way I see it being close is if they get through the middle and they disrupt the interior of our line. The way seeing Odell last week, he just didn't look like he had that burst to get past people. He was playing against Slay, right? So it is a good matchup for him. I'm not sure. What do you think about this game?
I like the Eagles in this one. I feel like Odell will be a factor, right? He has to. He has to come back. He didn't get a lot of snaps. He didn't get a lot of opportunities this last Monday night. You didn't see him. You didn't see Eli throw him to force any balls to him.
Yeah.
You saw Eli throw it to him when he was open to make easy catches.
Yeah.
That's it.
Quick little things.
Yeah, quick little things down, like nothing down the field that you usually see out of Odell Beckham.
No explosion from him going there.
Double coverage, go 50-50 ball this dude, right? I feel like you're getting Odell closer to 100%, and he's gonna have a factor. I don't feel like Philly has a corner to check him, right? They don't really have any.
We don't have a single. Well, Jalen Mills covered him last year. He's a 7th round rookie last year. He tries his hardest. I love him. He does.
That's not gonna do it, but
he tries.
But I feel like again, unless the Giants fix their offensive line woes and they can start running the goddamn ball,
because that's our strength.
Right?
Our defensive line is our huge strength. We probably have. I would one of the top. I would probably argue that we have the top defensive line in the league. Homer pick, but that's the thing. They're Flowers on Brandon Graham. It's gonna be a good day.
It's a very tough one. I gotta give the edge to Philly. I have to. And Giants have been playing so bad.
Yeah, if that Giants team that's showed up week 1 and 2 show up this week, I don't think there's a chance. Eagles at home
on a short week too. It's like they got to do something, but they got a lot of weapons on offense.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
They do have Janoris Jenkins and B.J. Goodson coming back on defense, so that should help them.
Yeah.
But it's going to come down to if Doug Peterson can turn his brain on and figure out how to life.
Do you want me to put like a brain next to it?
So if Doug Peterson's brain is on, I got the Eagles.
Let me do this. I'm gonna switch my pick. I'm gonna go with my upset pick right here, right now with the Giants.
The Giants.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Giants with the upset pick right now. I feel like they got too many weapons.
It's a bad week for Ryan.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Maybe I'll go
Yeah.
with my lock.
Oh, God. You want to go lock against an upset? That's fine. I'm cool with that. But I'm gonna go with my upset of the week, the Giants right here. They got too many weapons. Philly's defense, they got a lot of injuries. They got. I don't feel like they can check all those weapons. As long as they execute the plays, I don't think they even need to run the ball. So I'm gonna go with the Giants.
Yeah, I got Eagles.
Ooh.
Definitely got Eagles. I just, regardless of if
Did you
Odell's
pull?
going crazy.
Did you
and
pull
all that.
another $1.25 out of the bank just for this?
No, the smart money and the Josh money
Smart.
is on the Eagles this week. So
I took the Giants with the upset.
There you go.
I had to go with it. Now, I'm not calling my upset of the week. I just I just feel that it's a must-win situation for them, and Odell Beckham Jr. knows that. Eli Manning knows that.
Their head coach.
Yep.
Head coach.
McAdoo.
Everybody.
McAdoo.
They just all know that right now, and Philly just took a loss last week. Tight game, but
Yeah, it was a big game. It's AFC though, so that's the one thing that wasn't as huge for them. This win for the Eagles would be huge because it would put them 2-0 in the division to start the season early, and that's big to start the season that
Division
way.
rivals, man.
I got them Giants.
Give me lock with the Eagles.
Oh,
You're gonna throw your
Lock of
on
the week
Eagles
is
like
the
that?
Eagles.
You know you gotta pick.
You guys want to disrespect them,
You
like
got the-
calling the
You
Giants.
Anyway.
got big ass
Eli
spreads
Derp
out here.
Manning.
You got big ass
Get up
spreads
out of
out
this
here
bitch
and
ass.
shit, and you're
let's
gonna go with
go.
the Eagles. Fuck
Moving
outta
on
here.
to Seattle. Seattle at Tennessee.
Oof.
Oh shit! I know.
It's one of these. This is a tough week, man. I'll tell you that
Mhm.
right now. It's gonna be a low scoring affair. It's gonna be a defensive struggle.
Close battle.
It's gonna be a very close battle.
See, for me, Seattle's better at home. A lot better at home. They have their fans get into it. Their 13th man, all that stuff. That really helps them. Or 12th man.
13th.
They're thinking CFL.
Fuck.
But to me, it's Corey Davis is out this week for the Tennessee Titans. It's going to be a run-heavy offense for them.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think they have overall the weapons and the experience that the Seattle Seahawks have.
Yeah.
So to me, it's Seattle.
Yeah, I gotta go with Seattle too. They've been
Mhm.
struggling.
DeMarco's hurt.
They gotta figure something out. Defense has been balling, right? Defense has been playing really well. So I feel like Russell Wilson, Doug Baldwin, all those guys are gonna click,
Mhm.
and then I think this is where they get their win. So Seattle.
Cincinnati is jumping into Green Bay, Lambeau Field. I
Did
guess
you
for-
not choose? I didn't hear your pick for Seattle, Tennessee.
Oh shit!
Fans need
Seattle.
to know this.
Sorry,
Okay.
sorry, fans. I
No,
got.
this is where he fabricates his fucking
Yeah.
picks. Mr.
Yeah, he doesn't
14,
tell anyone.
15,
So yeah.
fucking almost
Man,
perfect
I went perfect
every
that week.
I guess your new nickname, Mr. Almost Perfect.
Seattle.
So we have Cincinnati going into Green Bay.
Yep.
All right, so this one's easy for me. The
Yeah.
Bengals suck and Andy Dalton's worse.
Yeah.
I got the Packers.
Yeah, I got the Packers as well.
Okay.
Rodgers needs to bounce back. He's gonna throw up 4 TDs. It's gonna be easy. No Adam Jones either. So
I have Green
I can't
Bay
believe
as
that's
well.
their number one corner. Is like a 33-year-old Pac-Man Jones. It's the funniest thing I've ever
Yeah,
heard.
it's-
By the way,
Well, they have a Dory Jackson coming up, but he's struggled
No,
for the
but-
most part. But he's a rookie. What you can't expect much.
no, he was more of like a Swiss Army knife in college. Anyways, he's all over the ball. He
Yeah.
was the best pure cover corner in
Uh-huh.
college, right? So if you're gonna come to the NFL and try and shut down top flight receivers like Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams, and Jordy Nelson, it's not gonna happen. But no Adam Jones. I think Green Bay's gonna run wild. So I got Green Bay.
As do I. And then we're going from Kansas City to the LA Chargers and that big home field advantage they got.
Jeez.
Big 12,000 fans or whatever they
Something
have.
like that. 20. Last time I checked, I think it was about 26. And when I was looking at attendance for games this week, they're about half capacity of every other team in the NFL. So
That's crazy. It's
that
almost
is-
not fair that they have to deal with that for the first. But they wanted to move, so whatever. It's
They,
on them.
Miami at LA. It sounded like a Miami home game.
Yeah.
It was half capacity, and there was more fans for LA or
Miami.
for Miami.
Mhm.
Yeah. So going on into
So yeah,
that pick.
For this, the Chargers have seemed to stay in every game. They just melt away at the end with their kicker, I guess you could say. But to me, the Chiefs have a better offense. They have a better defense. That Chargers defensive line can hold a Hunt in check. But Andy Reid does such a great job making run plays look like pass plays and pass plays look like run plays and mixing everything in together, that I just think the Chiefs win this pretty easy.
Yeah, I agree. Kansas City Chiefs, too many weapons for the Chargers to stop, and have had high success. They got all the confidence in the world. I think a 3-point spread's kind of low, honestly. So, I got Kansas City outright.
And that's 3 points on the road again, but it doesn't matter. I've got Kansas City outright on that as well, and they're going to cover those
points. Is there even a
points.
road advantage, though?
They're going to cover
Chargers
those.
don't even
And
feel
that's
home in that
that's
stadium.
an early line, but I got that. Going on to Oakland at Washington.
This is the Sunday night game?
This
Yeah,
is the
it's a
Sunday
Sunday
night.
night
Yep.
That sucks.
You don't like this game? I like this game.
I don't like the watch.
I'd like to watch Oakland play. I haven't watched them yet.
Oakland. I'll watch them play, but
Yeah.
I just
Got
I hate the
Marshawn.
Redskins.
I'll go first on this one. I got Oakland. Oakland, I think they're finding their stride. Marshawn Lynch is running hard, getting his feet underneath him. So, yeah, I got Oakland in this. It's gonna be a close game, but I got Oakland.
Yeah, me too with it. It's just I think it's pretty it's down to Oakland's defense is better than Washington's defense, and Oakland's offense is better than Washington's offense.
Yeah,
I got Oakland here as well. Marshawn Lynch, hard to bet against him. Derek Carr is playing really well. Now, I want to add this. I have a lock here. Not my lock. I'm in a group, sports betting group, and I got this. I'm going to call it the Pittman pick. He gave me a lock of -3 into Oakland. So just letting you guys know if you want to put some money on that, I do have a lock there for you.
that's a good pick. I like it.
Yeah. So
I like the -3 for Kansas City more than that, but well, each their own.
Mm.
yeah. Oh, no. Anyway, and then we're moving into the Monday game. Dallas at Arizona. I'll start it off here.
Where's your song?
I don't have a song.
What do you mean? Well,
I haven't queued it up, man. I came home late from work.
That's
Those pretty
fine.
red birds. Just let
I got
them,
a song. Josh got a song. You don't get a song?
Hold on, I got one. Da 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 da.
Yeah, I could fuck with that.
Yeah.
I took Arizona.
Yeah,
No.
of course it is. No,
I took
no way.
Arizona. I was between it. I didn't want to, but I have to take the theme of picking our home team, like our team. So
This is a very interesting
don't copy my pick. Take Dallas. I got Arizona.
This is a very interesting game. You have Dallas coming off an embarrassing loss. For them, they feel embarrassed probably. It's America's team. They got blown out. And Ezekiel is frustrated. Dak's probably frustrated, throwing too many picks. But you're going up against one of the best defenses in the league, right? You're not going to have a lot of success on the ground.
Well, now
yeah, I
you're
have
saying
lots of-
that too, and Denver torched him on the ground last week. Now,
No, I'm talking about
Cardinals?
Dallas having success against
my
the
bad.
Cardinals defense.
Yeah.
Cardinals even flies
My bad.
around, right? And they have good corners, they have good safeties.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good game. It's a very good game, but I got to give the edge to Dallas. I feel like Dallas are going to come through. They're going to come through, and they're going to run the ball hard. Ezekiel Elliott's going to have a better fucking attitude. He better.
That whole team's angry. They're pissed
Yeah.
that they just got embarrassed. That their biggest weapon is their run game, and they got completely shut out. They're going to come in to try to set a point. This whole week's probably been a big, tough, hard work week for them. Yeah, I agree with everything you were saying. It's a good Cardinals defense. Their thing is going to have to be stop the run, force Dak into passing the ball, and that's obviously easier said than done because I don't think the Cardinals defense is as good as the Broncos defense, but they're still good. But for me, I got Cowboys
Yep.
All right.
just because Carson Palmer sucks and David Johnson is not even playing.
Playing like shit. How do you?
Carson
I hate these
Palmer.
idiots.
No David
Going to
Johnson.
overtime with Indianapolis and winning by a field goal. Like,
It's bad.
can you guys
It
not?
just doesn't look good.
Wait, no, whatever. You guys played like shit. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So we're doing the locks?
That rounds out the picks, and yeah, we're gonna go for upsets and locks. And I know we already have yours, but you can
I got my upset. I don't have a lock, though.
No, you don't. And Josh has a lock, but not an upset.
I got my upset because it's the only upset I think I chose. My Jacksonville over Baltimore.
Is that much of even an upset?
Where
Yeah, it
They're
is.
3.5 underdog
Sure.
at home too, which is pretty crazy to me. Anytime they're not favored, it's an upset.
Yeah.
Giants upset for Ryan, and what do you got as far as a lock?
My lock? Oh, there's a couple of them you can go out here with. Should we keep it interesting?
Let's. You want to change a pick?
Let's go with the Broncos. It's a Broncos lock it.
Broncos.
It's a
What
good
we were
lock.
talking about earlier. It's a good lock.
Good lock.
Right? I didn't want to be one of those
You don't want
guys
to be that
like,
guy. Yeah.
like New England or Green Bay or any of those guys, but I didn't want to be the guy that was just like, oh, that's my favorite team. But I think, honestly, the matchup, when you look at it, I just can't see Buffalo winning in any aspect of the way.
No, there's no outcome in the game that I see. Even if they pick off Simeon twice,
I don't see them scoring.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So
They might get into the red zone. Well, I still think there's obviously a chance for them to be able to score and everything.
yeah, we'll
but
score
it's
a
going to
field
be
goal, like,
very
in the end
hard.
zone. Like,
Very hard, or it's going to be a lucky type play, wide open guy off a broken play kind of thing.
yeah.
Tyrod's legs.
You guys took the hard route. I'm taking the easy route. I'm taking New England for my lock.
That's not even that much of a lock. You had Deshaun Watson run 50 yards for touchdowns, looking like Michael Vick out there.
It's a
and shit.
lock, man.
Yeah,
Shot
the
offense.
14-point.
I think they
favorite
cover.
lock.
I think they cover that 13.5 point spread. But that's just me. That's what I would take anyways. But
And well, I mean, home team for the win. I took Arizona, so I'm gonna take Arizona as my upset, of course. I'm not switching my pick this week like I did last week, like a jackass. But that's you jackass. But yeah, so that's our week there. Looking at
Yeah.
week 3.
looking at
So-
week 3,
Where do we go from there, Josh?
that's it.
Break them down.
Yeah, let's break them down.
All right, so again, if you want to reach us, you can do so by emailing us, sportscastingcouch@gmail.com, following us on Twitter @SC_couch, or at facebook.com/sportscastingcouch.
Absolutely. Give us some feedback out there, people. We love it.
Send us some emails, let us know if you want us to talk about anything different, things like that.
Yeah, we'll take it. Take it in stride.
Hopefully we don't get fired and we can come back next week.
Yeah. What, we gonna get fired?
We got a boss, okay?
Can we get fired?
Christine.
Your cut.